Now, I'd like to speak to our broader purpose here today, to remind everybody where we were a year ago, where we've gotten since, the direction we're headed in, and all of you know that today is the anniversary, as Nancy said, since we passed the American Rescue Plan.
Yes, now millions of people are eligible to claim an extra round of stimulus payments. This is due to President Biden's legislative agenda that could be approved in the coming days. Everybody get ready because President Biden might be ready to send out more stimulus payments. So here's some big news. It's that President Biden has said that Congress is very close to finally reaching a deal on the Build Back Better legislation. Joe Biden has continued to tout his entire Build Back Better package as he travels across the nation. And the Congressional Progressive Caucus, which is a group made of lawmakers in Congress, is now pressuring President Biden and the Senate Democrats to pass his signature very, very soon.
Few pieces of legislation, no hyperbole, in American history have done more to lift this country out of a crisis than what you did. It took about 2 million Americans before I was sworn in.
And Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal, who chairs the caucus, said in a statement that the spending package has only become more urgent, and negotiations of the bill have stalled. But Jayapal told reporters, public housing. Residents have endured devastating fires, and the cost of insulin and other prescription continue to crush working people. We only see the need for more stimulus payments increase, folks, and that's the fact. But soaring inflation has become a political problem for President Biden, with Republicans pointing to the rise in prices as a reason why it's the wrong time for Congress to authorize some $1.75 trillion in new spending. And the Republicans argue that injecting more federal money into the economy will add fuel to the fire.
Hello. Great to see you all. Thank you. Please, sit down. Thank you so much. Jamie just gave my speech, so thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for that introduction and for all you've done for the party. And thank all of the leaders of the DNC.
So folks, do you believe the stimulus checks have to be more targeted? Tell me in the comments. So action is finally being taken by the president and many members in Congress. Get ready for fourth stimulus checks, everybody, because we have some developing news that a fourth stimulus payment might come out sooner than expected. So it was just announced that lawmakers and the Alaska House of Representatives have just proposed a plan to pay eligible people an additional around $1,300 on top of the annual permanent fund dividend. So everybody, according to lawmakers, a one-time $1,300 energy relief check to all Alaskans would really help them during this time. And this proposal comes from a bipartisan majority coalition, and it's said to be part of a budget debates. Representative Bryce Edgman said that the roughly $900 million in funding for the rebate would come from the state's general fund. And so, in an official statement, the energy relief check would use some of the state's unexpectedly high revenue this year to pay residents so they can offset rising fuel costs, record inflation, and a recovery from the crisis. So, this is not the first time lawmakers have proposed payments to Alaskans, on top of the permanent fund dividend. Back in 2008, the legislature approved $1,200 in resource rebate. That was checks for Alaska residents as a way for the state to share some of its multi-billion-dollar revenue. And everybody, let's not forget about this. There are huge developments being made on President Biden's agenda. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters that President Biden will absolutely mention inflation. Like I said, inflation has hit a 40-year high, and the spike in consumer goods is contributing to a gloomy national mood in Biden's slumping approval rating. So President Biden will also attempt to use the Tuesday address to use his speeches to revive efforts to pass his roughly $2 trillion Build Back Better Act. According to a fact sheet from the Biden administration, the Federal Consumer Price Index found overall consumer cost up 7.5% in January, compared to in January of 2022, dashing White House predictions that the figure would begin to fall. And Joe Manchin, who has expressed opposition towards Biden's Build Back Better Act, is saying that inflation could get even worse through the ambitious framework that would have federally subsidized childcare, preschool, home health care, and housing. Social Security is one of the most programs that helped shepherd the most vulnerable Americans through this time, income families, and ease inflation over the long run. Senator Manchin has also joined Republicans on this. But friends, inflation was, is, and always been a central component of Manchin's resistance to the broader package of stimulus. And no number of letters from economists has even stopped him from that, and should start decelerating in the months ahead. According to House officials, it is possible for lawmakers from both parties to come to an agreement on social spending programs. Biden even said, "I'm confident we can get the Build Back Better bill into law." And now everybody, here's the breaking news about the fourth stimulus check of $1,400. Republicans and Democrats have fought hard over the issue of stimulus checks after passing the first one. But some Americans will be able to claim additional money when they file their taxes, and they could be eligible for the full $1,400 payment. One way people could be eligible for a full $1,400 is if they had a child in 2021. Now, I know many of you are wondering how this is possible. Well, it's because of the 2021 Economic Impact Payment. And that was based on a person's 2020 or 2019 return, so any eligible dependent that came to the family last year would not have been included in the payment amount. And those who have a child who qualifies for the recovery credit then know this: you can claim the dependent when they file the 2021 tax return this year. Unlike the first two rounds of payments, which limited dependent eligibility to just children, the third stimulus check made accommodations for dependents of all ages.
Hello. Great to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Please, sit down. Thank you so much. Jamie just gave my speech, so thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for that introduction and for all you've done for the party. And thank all of the leaders of the DNC and the staff. Look, to all of you today, there are so many friends here tonight. And if I mention everyone by name, we'd be here all night. But let me start by saying thank you. Thank you, and excuse me, as we used to say in the Senate, a point of personal privilege. I want to say thank you to the Delaware delegation. They bring me to the stand up. The Delaware folks, stand up. Betsy Marin, chair of the party. Colby Owens, vice chair. Sean Finnegan, staff, the House of Representatives, and my good friend of Bo's, Sarah McBride, who used to work for Bo, and Molly McGarrick as well. And a great friend, Brian McGlinchey, who's basically family. And Bonnie Wu, a director of Tom Carper's office. Most importantly, she helped my son Bo get elected Attorney General, so she's a place in the heart of everybody. Look,